Good afternoon, everyone. May I have your attention, please? Isn't it a great day? My name is Steve Klein, and I'm the Director of the University Center and Student Activities. I'm delighted to welcome you to today's inauguration ceremony. We'll begin with a formal procession, including our faculty, members of our staff senate, as well as special guest delegates from universities, colleges, and learned societies. When you hear the music, please rise as you are able while the delegates and platform party process into the ceremony. The program will be live streamed and may be viewed in your personal electronic device. American Sign Language, right down here, will provide interpretation. You will discover a QR code inside your program with additional information and the live stream link if you wish to watch it on your electronic device. If circumstances arise that require a change in programming, please remain seated and listen for instructions. At this time, we'd like to take a moment to thank the groups that provided our pre-ceremony performances. Thank you, Dr. Rick Greenwood and the Pacific Symphonic Woodwind Ensemble, and also thank you, Dr. Scott Toomey and the Pacific Chamber Singers for setting a wonderful atmosphere for today's celebration. With that, thank you. With that, the time is just about upon us to start the ceremony. Please take your seats and enjoy the pomp and circumstance. Our ceremonial welcome is called the Kani by Trevin Dabashi and Noah Yamashiro. The conch has been used in celebrations since ancient times and still carries meaning in Hawaiian culture today. During the era of kings, the kahu would blow the conch to announce the arrival on the island of a royal canoe or at the beginning of any significant ceremony. We use it today to celebrate this auspicious day in Pacific's rich history. We are so happy you are here today. Thank you.
It is my honor to call to order the inauguration ceremony for Pacific University's 18th president, Dr. Jennifer Coyle. Please be seated. Thank you.
It helps if I'm on the right page. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nicole Nowlin, and I am a proud alumna from the class of 2011. As the current president of the Alumni Association Board, representing the more than 32,000 Pacific University alumna around the world, and today's MC, I am pleased to welcome you to the inauguration of Pacific University's 18th president and first alumna president, Dr. Jennifer Coyle. Thank you. We extend a special welcome to you all, including Dr. Coyle's family and friends, and the delegates from institutions of learning joining us today. Please join me in thanking these special guests. Once again, we offer a special thanks to the pre-ceremony performers. We also wish to thank our ASL interpreters, Kevin Raskin and Dennis Meunier, for providing this valuable service for our guests today. Thank you. Today is a day of celebration and reflection, and to begin our time, we ask that you rise as you are able while Pacific Class of 2021 alumnus Bob Stevens leads us in the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Bob. That was beautiful. Good afternoon, everyone, friends, family, colleagues, and honored guests. My name is Barr-Gillespie, and I'm the provost here at Pacific University. It's my distinct honor to provide at this moment in our ceremony the land acknowledgement. And I'd like to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional lands of the Tualatin Kalapuyas, who called themselves the Atfalati, now of the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde, and whose ancestors lived in villages throughout what is currently called Washington County. Pacific University has occupied these lands for more than 170 years, which means that we are relative youngsters in comparison to the original communities who lived here. I mention this because I was recently reading about some perspectives on Indigenous wisdom in the collected essays of Dr. Robin Wall Kimmerer, who is herself a citizen of the Potawatomi Nation, entitled Braiding Sweetgrass. If you haven't read it, I recommend it highly. In her writings, she shares the idea that humans are among the newest or youngest of the vast majority of other species with which we share the earth. We have much to learn from these other species, as well as from the ancestral peoples who've shared this land with them. Another aspect of Indigenous wisdom that I greatly admire is a profound understanding of the relationship between human beings and nature. Indigenous traditions recognize with honor the fact that people's well-being is intertwined with nature, that we are not separate from, but a vital part of the intricate networks that sustain our lives and that of other species. Our existence depends upon the integrity of the ecosystems of which we are a part, and we would be wise to take note of ways in which we can better respect our place in nature. To put it another way, the land does not belong to us. We are intertwined with the land. And so is our fate. We belong together. I'd like to leave you with these words of gratitude. I want to acknowledge and thank the ancestors and descendants of the Atfalati people who for many generations spanning more than 9,000 years cared for and lived in harmony with this land currently known as Pacific University in the city of Forest Grove. It is on this land that the founders of Pacific University, who did cross paths with the Atfalati, established an institution of higher learning. I'm also grateful that Pacific's presence here has helped preserve some of this land's oldest beings, which are now part of our urban forest and which provide shelter and sustenance for other species, including us. Pacific continues to work toward a relationship of healing and respect with Indigenous peoples, not only by acknowledging our past, but also through our efforts to create and improve relationships with Oregon's tribes. Many people here today are working to ensure that Indigenous people, histories, and perspectives are integrated into our lives at Pacific, and I'm thankful for being here during this period of time in which we are open to learning about and from our past and correcting our understanding of history and our place in it. And I thank you for joining us here today. I now invite alumnus Pastor Ken Colman, class of 1984, and interim pastor of First Christian Church in Bremerton, Washington, to offer the invocation.
Thank you. It's a dream come true. I met Jennifer in, I think it was October, and told her one of my dreams had always been to be chaplain here at Pacific University, and I'm not chaplain, but I'm doing a chaplain's job. So thank you. When I was in graduate school, I had a professor, Maria Harris, who's no longer with us. She always came and she always placed the globe on her desk. Hey, maybe that'll stay there. Whoever talks up here, don't jiggle the table too much. And she would say, I'm in this classroom teaching, But I have to be reminded that there's a world outside. So as we gather to bless this occasion, we're focused on the joy, we're focused on Pacific University, but there's a world outside with lots of things happening. And this will be a gift to Jennifer for her work to remember that as we train all of our medical people and those in other fields, they go out into the world to make a difference. And that's one of the reasons that Pacific is so great. So let us take a moment of silence to remember all those who have been part of our Pacific community and have gone before us. Great Spirit of this universe, we gather this afternoon to inaugurate Dr. Jennifer Coyle as the 18th president of Pacific University. And as we gather together, let us be reminded that here on this campus, we come from different faiths, different beliefs from all across the world. And in that diversity, we are reminded that we are united in our hope and our dreams for Dr. Coyle and for the Pacific community. May unity always be a guide that calls us out of our diversity into and binds us in this celebratory moment here at Pacific. Remember that this university began as a dream in 1848, growing into the university we are today. May there be new dreams for the next 175 years and beyond, bringing innovation and excellence to this campus. In Great Spirit, we ask for your blessing now upon Dr. Coyle, that she may be led with vision, knowledge, and integrity. May she be inspired by her faith, her education and experience, her wisdom, and especially to her commitment to excellence. May she be guided by that great mystery of divine guidance that fills all of us with love. We ask for your blessing now upon the faculty, the staff, students, alumni, friends of Pacific, those from other universities. May we support Dr. Coyle in her leadership and work together to create a community of learning and growth. And may we turn that learning and growth into service out into the world in which we live. We ask for patience and understanding when the chaos of this world comes into the walls of this institution, creating roadblocks and challenges. Let wisdom fall upon Dr. Coyle, her leadership team, professors, staff, students, alumni, and friends here at Pacific when that happens. And may the light of the great mystery give us the courage to confront the realities of this world and respond collaboratively to create a healthy and learning community, overcoming the chaos that seems to be all around us. We pray for the continued success of this university, that it continues in the tradition of excellence in learning, discovery, and innovation. May Pacific University be a place where all can come to discover new knowledge, meaning, and purpose. As we come working together in our diversity, may this be the catalyst to show the world how we can all grow and learn together. May the mystery of this wisdom be upon all present here at this inauguration, whether you are here in person or maybe watching from far away. As we celebrate our 18th president with joy, may that joy be our strength as we support Dr. Coyle and her leadership. Our joy comes for our love of Pacific. So may that joy flow into our work here on this campus and then out into the world, bringing new dreams into realities with those yet to come to Pacific. Great Spirit, bless this moment. Bless Dr. Coyle. Bless all here today and all that will come in the years to follow. So be it. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Colman. My name is Kylie Tanouye, and I am a biology major from Hilo, Hawaii. As Dr. Coyle met early on with the inauguration planning team, she expressed a desire to reflect on the rich history of Pacific and how our future aligns with the spirit of one of her favorite poems by Emily Dickinson, I Dwell in Possibility. To reflect on this theme, I'm pleased to introduce Shian Sparks, class of 2024. Shian is a transfer student from Portland Community College, working to obtain her bachelor's degree in both English literature and creative writing. Additionally, she is the associate editor for the International Journal of Undergraduate Research and Creative Activity, and a member of the Silk Road Review staff. Shian will share some reflections on how the words of another Emily Dickinson poem connect with our new president and this new chapter at Pacific.
Thank you, Kylie. Good afternoon, everyone. Allow me to begin with gratitude, followed by a brief story on how I came to this moment. First, thank you to our new university president, Jenny Coyle, and to all who supported the planning of this inauguration process. Thank you also to all of the professors in the undergraduate English literature department who have taught me along the way and will continue to teach me as my educational path continues. I would also like to thank Assistant Director Jennifer Scanlon and Director Scott Korb from the Masters of Fine Arts in Writing program for the opportunity to work with them and their students and faculty, in particular, poet Dori Locks, who spent some time recently talking with me about the poet Emily Dickinson. Transitions are hard in life, in institutions, in relationships, in writing. After I graduated high school in 2014, I took several years in the working world to establish the financial footing needed to begin classes at Portland Community College, an idea that seemed unachievable at the time. Following the completion of my associate's degree in 2021, I had my sights set on transferring to a new university to work toward my bachelor's degree, and even made an enormous change in envisioning a future career. All three decisions, to enter work, to enter college, to change my vision of a future, each at the time felt monumental and partially unattainable. Yet through the encouragement and mentorship of many of you here and exemplified in our new president, today I'm in my junior year, about to read for you a poem to open this inauguration ceremony. The poem that I have to share with you today is by Emily Dickinson, whose body of work also provides us with the theme for President Coyle's shared hope for us at Pacific, that we might dwell in possibility, enacting the university's mission to inspire students who, like me, think, care, create, and pursue justice in the world. This particular poem, which opens with the line, "She staked her feathers, gained an arc," captures a life of transitions. As a university, we're challenged both by the envious and by those who would underestimate us, and it highlights the possibilities that lie within the high-staked leaps from one spot to another, the risks and rewards of arriving on the other side. The image here is a bird staking everything, her feathers, flying out towards what seems unattainable among circumference, Dickinson writes, which according to one scholar meant for her the unreachable goal that she was always questing toward, the goal of perfect perception and ideal comprehension. Here is that poem as we begin. She staked her feathers, gained an arc, debated, rose again, this time beyond the estimate of envy or of men, and now among circumference, her steady boat be seen, at home among the billows as the bow where she was born. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shian. It's now my pleasure to invite current Faculty Senate Chair, Dr. James Kundart, to the podium to give the greeting from faculty.
Thank you so much, Nicole. It's my honor to be on this stage today as a representative of the Pacific faculty and to welcome you to this historic event as we install the first alumna as a Pacific president. What a profound symbol of the promise of higher education to see a former student move through an educational and professional path that takes them from an undergraduate student walking on this campus for the first time nearly 35 years ago to marching to this platform as president of the institution. It is a celebration of what we do as educators as we train up generations of world changers. The reward of the work is truly knowing that each class and cohort moves through our programs. We help shape and prepare tomorrow's artists, entrepreneurs, clinicians, inventors, educators, and leaders. We are fortunate that not only does Dr. Coyle bring a history of her experience as a student to her new role, but she also brings her experience as a faculty member to the highest level of leadership on the campus. Her experience and understanding of the role of faculty provides an exciting opportunity for creative and collaborative efforts to tell Pacific's unique story. As a former colleague of Dr. Coyle's within the College of Optometry, I am very honored to provide the faculty greeting on behalf of the entire Pacific faculty to congratulate Dr. Coyle on this special day. The faculty look forward to partnering with you in the years ahead as we continue to inspire students to think, care, create, and pursue justice in our world.
Thank you, Dr. Kundart. And now I'd like to invite current Staff Senate Chair, Kelsey Delanoy, to the podium to extend a special greeting from the Pacific University staff.
Thank you, Nicole. The staff at Pacific University play a special role in the educational journey of our students. They are the critical supporting cast in their epic story, from their first contact with the institution through their years of classes, coursework, and activities, to a day a student moves on from Pacific to their next grand adventure. Our staff are often among those cheering the loudest, giving warm smiles, high fives, and hugs to students at our commencement ceremonies. They ensure that our students have clean and healthy places to live and learn as they work to keep facilities safe. Our staff are the ones troubleshooting technology problems right before that paper is due and ensuring that transcripts and grades are up to date. They're the ones making sure that there are tutoring opportunities and academic supports available when needed, and they work to schedule special events and concerts and athletic events, as well as classes and clinical rotations. They process financial aid, mail, and paychecks, and they advise on those big decisions about classes, resumes, and careers. These are just a few of the many roles our staff hold at Pacific, but in every role, there is a focus to ensure that we support all Pacific students as they explore opportunities for success in their academic journey. President Coyle, the Pacific staff are excited to partner with you as you move forward in our vision and mission. So on behalf of all Pacific staff, we congratulate you on this special day. Welcome home to Boxer Nation.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. Now, I am pleased to introduce one of Dr. Coyle's oldest friends and someone she describes as her life coach, Dr. Dori Carlson. Dr. Carlson is a 1989 graduate of Pacific University's College of Optometry and received the Camellia Musi Prize for a distinguished optometrist in 2013. She also served on Pacific's Board of Trustees from 2013 to 2017. Dr. Carlson was the first woman to serve as president of the American Optometric Association. In 2011, during her tenure as president, she visited every school or college of optometry and lobbied extensively for children's eye exams to be an essential benefit in healthcare reform. Dr. Carlson was the first female president of the North Dakota Optometric Association and was honored as the North Dakota Young Optometrist of the Year, as well as Optometrist of the Year. She was the 2019 recipient of Women of Optometry's Thea Award for Leadership, and Optometric Management named her as one of the most influential in optometry. Dr. Carlson, along with her husband and fellow Pacific alum, Dr. Mark Helgeson, founded Heartland Eye Clinic, a multi-location practice in North Dakota 30+ years ago. Despite her busy schedule speaking and advocating for her profession, she continues to see patients and strives to advance the care she provides. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Dori Carlson.
We're just a little afraid that the world is going to fall. President Coyle, Board of Trustees, faculty, students, guests, friends. It's an honor to be with you today as we inaugurate the new president of Pacific University, Dr. Jennifer Coyle. It's also good to know that I can now add life coach to my resume. Seriously though, I'd like to first thank Dr. Halleck for her years of service. I had the privilege and honor of getting to know her while I served on the Board of Trustees. I truly admired your leadership. Thank you. Today, though, I'd like to applaud the Board of Trustees for their decision to make Dr. Jennifer Coyle our 18th president. I've known Dr. Coyle for many years at this point and truly cannot think of a better person to serve as our next president. As I was thinking about my remarks today, I wondered what I could share that would matter or be relevant. And I immediately jumped to 3 words that I think of when I think of Dr. Coyle. Dr. Coyle has been an educator, a leader, and a mentor. She started here as a student, later becoming an educator in the College of Optometry, sharing her love of lifelong learning. Later, she became Dean of the College of Optometry, leading the school through many changes over those years. During that time and since, she has served as a mentor to many, students, colleagues alike. As Dr. Coyle, she has been each of those things and continues to be even today. Those nouns are very descriptive and true. But today, I'd like to talk about my friend Jenny and why I believe she's the perfect choice for us as president. So I started this by asking some mutual friends that when you think of Jenny, what are the first 3 words that come to your mind? Let me tell you, we have some overachievers as friends. One of our friends sent me a list of 66 adjectives in alphabetical order. I bet you can figure out who that was. Words such as charismatic, energetic, enthusiastic, inspirational, warm, caring were part of that list. And while I agreed with many of the words that were sent to me, I wondered which descriptive word really mattered the most when it came to her new role as president. It's genuine. You ever meet those people who think they just seem really phony? You know who I'm talking about. The person that asks you questions but doesn't really listen to your answer. They're too busy developing the response to really listen to your comment. They don't look you in the eye. They don't try to get to know you. Well, that's not my friend Jenny. What you see is what you get. She's not one of those people who has hidden agenda or does things for personal gain. She's not going to tell you one thing and do another. She's not going to commit to something and not follow through. And a point to her being genuine is she wants to hear people's stories. After all, we all have a story to tell. Just this morning, she was telling me how she tries to eat at the UC a couple times a week and sit with different students. She's trying to learn about the members of her student body. And I've watched her at so many alumni events. In fact, I posed as her one time, like we look anything alike. At each of those events, people sought her out because of their respect for a genuine individual who made them feel welcome, appreciated, and seen. My friend Jenny has vision. Okay, yeah, I had to use that word. We are optometrists after all, and our professional mission is to preserve and restore sight. However, in Jenny's case, it's more than her chosen profession. It's about her mindset. A visionary is someone who has a vision for the future and inspires others to make it a reality. I'm going to repeat that. A visionary is someone who has a vision for the future and inspires others to make it a reality. For a few years, we would get together to do vision boards every year. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, it's a day spent together cutting out pictures from magazines and words that are motivational quotes and things that inspire us to achieve our goals for the upcoming year. A day of reflection and pause and inspiration. And while we did personal vision boards, she's also created them for Pacific. Well, maybe she didn't go so far as to cut out pictures or motivational quotes and paste them on a board for Pacific. But I noticed that she had a copy in her office today Good to Great on her bookshelf. She was instrumental in developing Pacific's strategic plan a few years ago. She's worked on the accreditation process. She's developed new programs. I could go on and on and on about all the projects that she's been part of, but the bottom line is she understands what it takes to be a visionary. It's part of her DNA. And whenever we chat, she's usually thinking of something else that could be done to make things better. She has vision. And my friend Jenny is all about family. She has 3 kids who all live here in the Portland metropolitan area, 2 of whom have graduated from Pacific. Family is important to her, but today I'm not referring to her biological family, but rather her Pacific family. She holds 3 degrees from this institution. And as I mentioned earlier, she's taught and led at various times here. But when we visit, which usually recently it's early morning text messages, she uses the words, my students, my faculty, my colleagues, my team. When you celebrate, she celebrates along with you. When you hurt, she hurts with you. She experiences all the highs and lows that go along with caring about somebody. But make no mistake, she also knows what tough love is. She will make the tough decisions that are needed. She's not afraid to speak up about what's right, what's good, or even what's wrong. But those decisions will come from a place of caring about the institution and the people that serve it. All those decisions will be also followed by a genuine vision of how to make things better. That's my friend Jenny. So today I am proud to celebrate this genuine visionary who will always be a champion of her Pacific University family. Welcome home, President Coyle. It will be a pleasure to serve you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Carlson. Now, you will note in your program that we had planned to have President Coyle's friend and close advisor, Pacific alumnus Dr. Edward Larry Jones, as our next guest speaker. Dr. Jones sends his deepest regrets that he can't be here today due to illness. He was able to visit in person with Dr. Coyle last weekend for some of the inauguration events and attended a women's lacrosse game with President Coyle. He sent a copy of his remarks to President Coyle, sharing his best wishes and encouragement for her in this role. He made sure to note that Pacific University, and I quote, has a president that will lead with whimsy, spiritual soundness, brilliant boldness, and splendid audacity, end quote. Lots more adjectives. We are sorry he can't be with us today and wish him all the best.
Good afternoon. My name is Kamalani Kwindika, and I am a biology major from Honolulu, Hawaii. It is my pleasure to introduce the Pacific University Chamber Singers under the direction of Dr. Scott Toomey. The group will perform the classic We Shall Overcome as arranged by Robert T. Gibson. The song has its roots as a work song and a church hymn and a song sung by those looking for justice. Today, these words are sung by freedom movements around the world as a promise that darkness and oppression can be overcome through the unity of voices and actions coming together to lift up the value and worth of all people.
Shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
just get goosebumps. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Majestic DeLuz. I'm a philosophy and psychology double major from Seaside. Thank you. I serve as the undergraduate student member of Pacific's Board of Trustees, and as trustee, I am honored to provide student perspective as important decisions are considered by the board. With that, it is my pleasure to introduce the chair of Pacific University's Board of Trustees, Mr. Mark Frandsen, for the official investiture of Pacific's new president. Thank you.
Thank you, Majestic. Your service on the board is important and appreciated. Good afternoon. It is an honor to be here today to celebrate President Jennifer Coyle. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I welcome everyone to the President's Investiture. We extend a special thanks to the delegates from other institutions who are with us today. You honor us by your presence and partnership in our mission. I had the privilege of chairing the University Presidential Search Committee, the committee that recommended Dr. Coyle to the Board of Trustees. Thank you, committee members, for your impressive service. It was a unique and intense experience for each of us. Committee members' names are listed in today's program. They represented the board, administration, faculty, staff, students, and our community. The committee was supported by many university constituent groups. They guided development of a leadership profile, which then guided the search committee's work. The success of the search was due to all who participated, and I want to thank you all very much. Today's investiture ceremony continues the 174-year tradition of leadership at Pacific. That tradition is carried forward by the presence of two former university presidents and our former provost. The Board of Trustees and I welcome President Emerita Lesley Halleck, President Emeritus Robert Duvall, and Provost Emeritus John Miller. Thank you for your leadership and for continuing your legacies by participating today. We are exceptionally proud to have 3 Pacific students lead us in the traditions of the formal investiture ceremony. And we will begin with First Moon Venetia.
Hello, my name is First Moon Venetia. I am a psychology major and kinesiology minor here at Pacific. I am the co-vice president for the Indigenous Student Alliance and the Interpersonal Violence co-chair for the Center of Gender Equity. It is my great pleasure to be here today to share with you the tradition of the Presidential Medallion. The medallion is worn by the President on official university occasions and is symbolic of the authority vested in the President by the Board of Trustees. The medallion signifies the weight of responsibility the President carries on their shoulders, but also the rich legacy of those who have worn it proudly in the past. It features the official seal on one side and a depiction of Old College Hall, the university's first building constructed in 1850, on the other side. The medallion presented today was presented to Pacific's first woman president, Dr. Faith Gabelnick, in 1995. The medallion was presented to President Emerita Lesley Halleck at her own investiture in 2010. Today, we are pleased to see this tradition continue as Dr. Halleck presents the same treasured medallion worn by Pacific's 2 previous women presidents to Dr. Coyle.
Moninonse. That is just a greeting that means greetings to you all in Chewa language, and you are all supposed to answer Zikomo. It means thank you. Good afternoon all. My name is Priscilla Jizombwe, and I am an MBA student here at Pacific. I am from the country Malawi in Africa. It is now my pleasure to introduce Pacific's 14th president, President Emeritus Dr. Robert Duvall, for the presentation of the hood. Dr. Duvall was Pacific's president from 1983 through 1995. And actually, he presented Dr. Coyle a diploma on her graduation. This year is the 40th anniversary of Dr. Duvall's inauguration. The wearing of academic regalia is a custom with origins in the medieval European universities, where it served as a reminder of a person's role in the academic community. Most American colleges and universities have since adopted the cape, gown, and hood to wear exclusively at special ceremonies. The length of the hood is typically the identifying symbol for the type of degree. A 1.5 foot hood represents a master's degree, while the doctoral hood is 4 feet. Hoods are aligned with a color representative of the degree earned or the institution represented by the wearer. This hood represents Dr. Coyle's place within the academy and her leadership over the academic mission of the university.
Доброго дня, it means good afternoon in Ukrainian. My name is Daria Tsibina, and I'm a psychology major from Ukraine. It is now, thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce Provost Emeritus Dr. John Miller. Dr. Miller was Pacific's Provost from 2008 to 2021 and worked closely with President Coyle when she served as the Dean of the College of Optometry. Dr. Miller will present President Coyle with the mace that symbolizes the authority vested in the President by the Board of Trustees. Pacific's mace was commissioned in 2003 to commemorate the investiture of Pacific's 16th President, President Emeritus Phil Creighton. It was crafted from white oak from Forest Grove campus and is a treasured university artifact. It is incorporated in the official academic ceremonies of commencement, convocation, and presidential investitures.
Thank you, First Moon, Priscilla, Daria, Dr. Halleck, Dr. Duvall, Dr. Miller. This ceremony is made more special by your participation. Dr. Jennifer Coyle, as you've heard, has a 34-year history with Pacific University, from her time as a student, to serving as a faculty member, to leading as a dean for 12 years. She holds 3 degrees from Pacific, and 2 of her children graduated from Pacific. Dr. Coyle returned to campus after 2.5 years as dean at Marshall B. Ketchum University's Southern California College of Optometry. She characterizes her return to Pacific as coming home, and we embrace her with welcoming arms. Dr. Coyle is a respected leader. As a member of the National Academy of Practice, she collaborated with healthcare professionals. She was elected president of the Association of Schools and Colleges of Optometry. She was the first woman to hold that office. She recently completed serving 2 terms on the board of directors of the American Academy of Optometry. It is remarkable to see Dr. Coyle engage with others on campus. She brings positive energy, innovation, and a passion for educating students. She builds relationships of mutual trust, collaboration, and community. And people respond in powerful ways. Dr. Coyle is the leader we were seeking, and the leader Pacific needs. A caring and visionary leader who understands the challenges and opportunities higher education is facing. We are fortunate to have her dedication to the success of Pacific. Would you join me? Dr. Coyle, by virtue of the authority of the Pacific University Board of Trustees, it is an honor and a privilege to declare you invested as the 18th president of Pacific University. I present to you President Jennifer Coyle.
Thank you all. Well, it's my turn to say welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. You can't even imagine how wonderful it is for me to look out, kind of see each and every one of you here today. This day, this journey, this Boxer community, it's a treasured blessing. And I am so humbled that you would be here to celebrate this milestone in my life as your university president. 30 years ago, this exact hood was placed over my shoulders at graduation in this very room. I remember thinking, well, when am I ever gonna wear this thing again? And now I think it's been so loved, it's real, like Velveteen Rabbit real. There's so many people that are here today that I want to thank as I stand here, and this could certainly take up all of my time, but quite frankly, it would be time well spent. First of all, to all of our performers, and our presenters, and our planners today, this entire week. Wow. I'm in awe of all of you. It was a week of celebrating our students, our faculty, and our alumni through lectures, performances, roundtables, open houses, community outreach, even the creation of a few new boxer statues. Thank you all for being willing to share your beautiful voices, your expertise, and incredible talents with us. I truly wanted the focus of this inauguration tradition to be a celebration of Pacific. And as always, our boxers delivered. All 5 colleges and across every single university department participated in some activity this week. To all of the faculty here who taught and inspired me, both during the time I was a student and throughout the years we served alongside each other. Thank you. Thank you for the knowledge you shared, your mentorship, your friendship, and the confidence you have placed in me. Many of you also educated and transformed the lives of 2 of my children. So in our family, this type of gratitude actually spans 2 generations. Well, actually 3, because I think we represent Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z. Also to all the Pacific University staff, you've been with me for 34 years, and I see you. I'm honored to know you, and we're all lucky to have your dedication and your commitment. Your role in supporting our students and our community often goes unsung, and I need you all to know, wherever you are in this room, you are valued. A special shout out to our inauguration planning committees, our facilities and custodial staff, conferences and events, and all of the volunteers that have made this week possible. I feel truly blessed to work with all of you. Our students and our alumni, you are my why. The performances, readings, and introductions today just filled me with joy, and they really showcase a community that has inspired our students to think, care, create, and pursue justice in our world. I never cease to be amazed by all they do and all you do and the way that you change our world. Today is a celebration of Pacific and a celebration of you. You are the enduring legacy of this institution, and during the time I serve, I will always keep you and your experiences my priority. Whether it's while you are here learning or the decisions we make that impact the experiences you will be able to embrace as an alumnus. It's all connected, and we are all connected, so thank you so much to all of you for participating. I too want to thank the members of the search committee for facilitating that life-changing week just over a year ago. And to the board of trustees behind me and those that are watching, I'm honored you selected me and offered me my dream role. You all give your time, talent, and treasure to this beloved university because you believe in us and the work we do, and I am truly grateful for your enthusiasm, leadership, and your generosity. I'm excited to see what we do together. And Mark Frandsen, thank you for that kind introduction, for your wisdom and guidance over these past 8 months. It's been a lot of fun for both of us to get to know Pacific in new ways together. We've brainstormed and we've already started problem solving. I appreciate your patience and the support of all of our board. And I'm also excited to be welcoming several new members to our Board of Trustees this spring. To my husband, John Coyle, oh John, you know me better than I know myself. Thank you for always being my safe space and my sounding board, pushing me to be the leader we know is inside of me, always having the right analogy at the right moment, making me laugh, being my PR director, even though we know I really do hate talking about me, for your love and your sense of adventure, for your ability to write a poem about absolutely anything at any time. And yes, I am still glad you made me a New Orleans Saints fan. I still believe and remind myself any given Sunday. My children who are here, Dr. Ryan Kusala, I still think it's funny that because I was 9 months pregnant with you when I graduated, you technically graduated from optometry school twice. I'm so proud of you and your incredibly kind nature, your ability to grasp and understand really difficult concepts, and how you live our boxer spirit of you be you. Also, I'm grateful you brought a new member to love and into our family, Dr. Mari Fujimoto, also a Pacific graduate, and we both agree contact lenses are the most remarkable thing on the planet. My little one, Katri, your clever can-do spirit is so infectious. You have an enthusiasm for life that amazes me. And your cleverness and creativity do make the world a better place. You've taught me so much, and I can't wait to see what you do next. And you, too, keep being you. And our love-in-law, Aaron, we couldn't be happier that you and Katri found each other. And I don't think it's a coincidence that you and my father share the same expertise and trade, even though you live 3,000 miles apart and have yet to meet. Speaking of my father, he and his wife are not able to join us in person today due to health challenges, but I know he's watching from home if they can figure it out. I believe my work ethic and my desire to roll up my shirt sleeves and figure things out come from the example he set for me growing up, including the time we spent living in a log cabin in Alaska, no running water. I didn't love it at the time, but I know it was exactly how it was supposed to be, and provided opportunities for invaluable life lessons and insight into who I am and what I can do. And yes, Dad, my brains come from you. I love you, Dad. Also to our children who can't be here, they're exactly where they need to be right now with our 2 grandchildren. I wouldn't be able to sit through this if I was 7 or 2.5 months old. Alyssa, you have shared me with Pacific since I started optometry school and you were only 9 months old. You've always had the ability to find the wonder and magic in life, and thank you for being such a wonderful mother to my grandson. John's daughter Rachel and her husband Kevin, we're so proud of you and happy to say we have both a lawyer and an engineer in the family, and the new baby just makes our hearts fuller. To all of the 17 presidents of Pacific University who have led us through the first 174 years, I wish to express my gratitude for your splendidly audacious ideas, accomplishments, and perseverance. President Duvall, you were my first president as a student and when I first became a faculty member, and I'm so touched that you're here for this special moment. You signed my diplomas and my first faculty contract, so this feels very much like a full circle moment. President Halleck, oh, what a trusted mentor you've been over the years. Thank you. I know we both believe we had the most luxurious transition because of time, but also, more importantly, because we do have a shared commitment and connection to our university mission. You heard today was actually the second time Lesley put this medallion over my shoulders. The first time was at commencement this past August. I was 1 month into my role, and she told me then that it had only been worn by her and the late president, Dr. Faith Gabelnick. She said, "You might not want to wear it all the time because it's really heavy." And I thought, oh yes I will, girl power. As I feel it around my neck right now, it reaffirms my belief that it's my honor to carry the heavy so you all fly. I also wish to recognize President Phil Creighton, who also wasn't able to travel today. He appointed me Dean of the College of Optometry, and he truly taught me what transformation means. And Provost Miller, as my boss and also a mentor for a decade, thank you for always providing opportunities for me to grow and learn and lead in new ways. You instilled in me the value of collaboration and always finding ways to partner in our community. I'm honored to welcome here today our distinguished community partner, the new mayor of Forest Grove, Melinda Wenzel. We're already off to a great friendship. And yes, for those of you wondering, we've already talked about parking. We haven't solved it, but that was for our students. My Pacific story includes developing deep and lifelong friendships, many of whom are in this room, and others who are watching on the live stream. Dr. Carlson and Dr. Jones, you've both been my confidants and sage advisors throughout the years as a dean in both of my recent career decisions. Thank you for your enduring friendship and your willingness to share this day with our alma mater in such a poignant way with your lovely and inspiring words. I'll pay you later. To all my friends out there from so many facets of my life, it absolutely means the world to me that you traveled from afar or even across campus and carved out time to be here. Speaking of friends, to all of the delegates who have joined us in your gowns and hoods and added all of that vibrant, colorful pageantry to the procession in the room, I'm grateful you two are here on this day in Pacific history as you proudly represent your institutions and your organizations. Your participation demonstrates our shared commitment to the future of higher education, discovery, leadership, and service. Some of you have also already become dear friends, and some have been my dear friends for years, and I am very lucky to know all of you. You've been confidants already, or you soon will be, and sounding boards and sources to solutions for common problems, and I promise I will also provide the same to all of you. This fall, I completed over 100 conversations about community with pretty much anyone and everyone who would talk to me. Faculty, staff, students, committees, centers, alumni, donors, departments, board members, and community partners. And during my listening tour, I heard resounding themes and ideas that will inform our future as we embark on strategic planning later this month. I'm excited and ready for the discover, dream, design, and most importantly, deliver phases of our new plan. Some of what I've heard are things that we share as a common source of pride, our students and each other. We will retain that sense of community and purpose. You all have big dreams, and I have big plans. I challenge us to have equity as an overarching umbrella for all of our goals and to embrace diversity so that inclusive excellence is at the core of all we do. We will continue to support and nurture our status as an Asian American, Native American, Pacific Island serving institution, and we are on the cusp of being designated a Hispanic serving institution. Let's work with purpose and energy to achieve that, and quickly. Although the diversity of our student body broadens and deepens, we must improve recruitment and retention of faculty and staff of color. We owe it to our students and to each other. We must reduce equity gaps in retention, persistence, and graduation rates. Let's make sure all who access our programs have the resources and capacity to be successful and have the knowledge, skills, and tools to go find their bliss in the world. I want to be considered a best place to work, and not just as a designation on our email signature or a list in a publication, but what it truly means. Our employees find joy in their work. They feel supported and celebrated and are empowered to continue to deliver the promises in our mission and achieve the goals we set forth in our new strategic plan. And we will do those impactful things we do in ways that provide personal meaning and satisfaction daily. I dream we can provide every student a cross-cultural immersion experience and that we will be intentional in finding ways to provide more funding for international travel at all levels of education for our undergraduate, graduate, and professional students. Let's continue to celebrate being a top private research university in the Pacific Northwest and support the many ways our faculty contribute to the bodies of knowledge and works in their disciplines and expand our sphere of influence. Accessibility to our programs around our campuses and within our facilities is a priority, as is well-being. Let's implement new sustainability practices and nurture collaborations with our community partners. Possibilities, that is what is before us. You heard earlier I have an affection for the Emily Dickinson poem, I Dwell in Possibility. And I have a confession. The story of how I found that particular poem did not start in a classroom with a critical discussion led by one of our outstanding faculty. No, it started with a Google moment. At some point in my life, I developed this habit. On days where I wake up and there's nothing on the calendar, that hasn't happened in 8 months, but and it's often when the weather has just changed or the seasons have changed, I find myself thinking and often saying out loud, it's a day of possibilities. So like a curious thinker I was taught to be at Pacific, one day I sat down at my computer and typed in Day of Possibilities. I knew the source had to come from some whimsical person and it wasn't my imagination, and that's when I found the Dickinson poem. I felt joy when I read and digested her words because they're words of hope and they're words of freedom of expression. Like me, she's very proud of her profession, and she speaks to how wonderful creativity and observation can be. I feel the power of imagination every time I read it, and I physically want to look up and soak in the possibilities. Although I do understand she really is describing how the lines of poetry are a limitless place to go and express oneself, much like nature is. It's a place where you can be you. Her words invoke how I've always felt about Pacific, right down to the big cedars. And now I want us, as a community, to dwell in possibility. Let's dwell in ideas and plans of what we can do and transform and build and think about and care about and create and make right in this community and this world. Let's focus on our dwellings and the possibilities they create, whether they're concrete spaces with walls and windows and doors and exam chairs and ventilation hoods. Yes, I know we need a new science building. Or whether they're in our minds, our musings, our imaginations, or verses we write or we perform. Let's reach for the gambrels of the sky and facilitate spaces and places where curiosity is fueled and rewarded. Speaking of spaces, when I first returned to campus last summer, I set out to tour every building and prioritize the rooms I hadn't actually really spent a lot of time in previously. And I discovered a beautiful boat hanging from the ceiling in one of our art studios. And I later learned our students had built it in a class. These are students who are majoring in very diverse disciplines: kinesiology, business, chemistry, applied sustainability, computer science, biology, anthropology, even sports leadership and management. This modern skin-on-frame boat is absolutely stunning. And I look at it and I see a compilation of our mission in 3D. This diverse group of students figured out, first of all, how to build it with affordable and sustainable products. They made it actually float, and they used it to make our world a better place by paddling down a river and cleaning up debris in the water. Others they built were donated to Adventures Without Limits to support work in helping underserved populations have experiences outdoors. And when I heard the story of the boat, and as I looked at it, I thought, this is the embodiment of the yes and opportunities at Pacific. Yes, our students are majoring in areas that will lead to fulfilling lives, careers, or grad or professional school. Or yes, they will become doctors, teachers, artists, writers. Yes, and they create things, they clean up our environment, they perform in world-class music, they dance, they go on mission trips to improve public health, they participate in athletics, they share their work at research conferences, they publish alongside our faculty, or they invent something new and fantastic in our Berglund Center and Makerspace. Oh, and there is theater. Last month, I was in the audience of our theater department's production of the play Constellations. It was a compelling story about, guess what? Possibilities. Can't make this stuff up. First of all, 2 remarkable students performed for 80 minutes straight, no intermission. And through each of their acts, they demonstrated there are many moments when we have choices to make in life, and there could be many different outcomes as a result of our choices. In some moments, it might feel like you're just rolling the dice and that determines our fate. I like to remind our students that the steps they take now and the things they do or don't do set them up in the future to be able to make choices, being in positions where they choose what is next. For example, where they live or work or play. Sometimes I have to remind myself about the power of having choices. I hate to exercise, but I do it. And sometimes when I really don't feel like moving another step, I have to remind myself, you're doing this for your 80-year-old self, Jen. So every day, she'll be able to choose how to use her time on a day of possibilities, for example. She'll look back and she'll thank you. I'm equally committed to the health of our institution that will be celebrating 175 years next year. And we will set the stage so that generations that follow will have the ability to make their own choices and perhaps look back and thank us. Even though we're at a unique time in history when we're faced with what might seem like impossible challenges, and higher education as a whole seems to be under daily attack, we will thrive. How do I know? Well, I know us. And we have a pretty remarkable history of taking those next right steps. I believe in us. After all, Pacific University has seen the turn of the century twice. We've survived 2 world wars, 2 worldwide pandemics, the Great Depression and the Great Recession, and through it all, we consistently reaffirm our values, use our minds, our energy, and our hearts to create and make society more civil and equitable, and our programs and services accessible for all who follow. Together, we will always dwell in possibility because those possibilities can then become splendidly audacious realities. That's what we do here at Pacific. I am living proof. Thank you, God, and thank you all.
Gracias, Presidente Coyle. Mi nombre es Itzel Vasquez, and I'm an education student from Tillamook, Oregon. It is my pleasure to introduce Pacific Dance Ensemble Group to perform Uncornered. Choreographed by Pacific Theater instructor James Healy, please welcome them to the stage as they join us to celebrate President Coyle's inauguration with a special performance.
Thank you so much for that inspiring performance. This day has reminded us all to dwell in the possibilities and take the right next steps, building on Pacific's foundation and history with a new chapter and vision for the future of Boxer Nation. We hope you are as inspired as we are for the days ahead. This concludes our ceremony. We now ask our audience to please remain seated until our platform party, institutional delegates, staff senate, and faculty members complete the recessional. After completion of the recessional, we invite you to join us for a reception honoring President Coyle in the space just to the south of us. Enjoy your day and safe travels.